Artificial. All right. Hey everyone, good evening. Good to have full house. We are very proud of it. Proud of that. My name is Clara. In the program, there was supposed to be Michal, our chairman of the board of the Czech Association of UX. You're gonna do that tonight with me. I'm Clara. I'm just a regular board member. Um, and I almost weren't here because I'm just me, and I took red metro instead of yellow one. But I'm here. I'm very happy about that. So that's my night tonight. As I said, we are the Czech Association of UX, Asociace UX. An organization that works thanks to our awesome partners, Alma Career, Project Man, Amplify, Livesport, MSD, and we really welcome Muse. Welcome to the team. Thank you so much for your support. What we do, why do we exist, is that we organize events like this. This is our kind of flagship event, UX Monday, where we kind of try to develop the community, facilitate networking, and we educate ourselves about different topics, and we share our know-how and experience. We also do things in Brno. Yes, we're not Prague-centric. We have UX dinners. We will have Research Tuesdays again. I'll just invite Ivana in a bit. We have meetups in Budějovice. We had design ops tours. We have picnics. We will have Humans of UX and Future of UX and many other activities and research coming your way. And Ivanko, can you just tell us something about the renewed Research Tuesday? Yes.
Okay, so Research Tuesday was a nice event for user researchers and people who do research or who want to do research, and it kind of died for a while. And now we want to bring it back. So you can make a note in your calendars. The next Research Tuesday meetup will be on 17th of March, which is pretty soon, and we will be talking about international research. We were thinking we'll be in Branik, but maybe not. We will see. And just to let you know, if you don't remember or don't know at all, it's part a talk and part discussion. We never do any recordings, so it's more open and honest, and you can learn a lot from behind the curtains, kind of. Capacity is limited usually, but we want to support people with small kids, so we usually have babysitting, and it's in the first half of the day, so it's easier for parents. And if you are not parent and you have to be at work in the morning, you can explain to your boss that you are going to educate yourself. It's much easier, I promise, than to explain to kids that you can't put them to bed or something. So March 17, international research, somewhere in Prague. Check meetup.com.
Thank you so much. We're very happy to see Research Tuesdays making their comeback, and we have one more organizational quick speech. As I said, we're Michal, that's chairman. It's me, it's another board member, and we have a third board member, Bob, who also would like to.
At the end.
At the end, okay, you gotta wait for that. That's awesome. It's gonna be legend. Wait for it, Derry. So yeah, Bob at the end, very important. Please pay attention after too. Of course, we're a non-profit organization. We we live on support and also your support. So if you want to support us once, you can support this event by sending in this voluntary entry fee, or you can become members of the UX Association, which will give you rights, but will also touch upon. But yeah, this is for tonight. Okay. And without any further ado, tonight's topic is how to build a company products in 2026. Are we missing something? I hope not. And we have two great and experienced speakers, Honza Torsten Walder and Shimon Yun, who will have presentations and who will also be happy to answer your questions after, if you submit your questions to this Slido. Also, I'll give you a second to scan the QR code. And we were talking about the and after presentations, right, Boba? Good. Okay. So that means that we can start with the first presentation. And Hanziku? Oh no, we have sit down. Sit down. You see how messy I am today, but it keeps you, keeps you at attention. That's good. And yeah, I'm becoming silly, and we can't make some people laugh, right? We also have exciting news that we're partnered up with Web Expo, who just released the program. Hope to meet some of you there. And we'll have great design and research talks as well. And you can use a promo code for getting a very nice discount and enjoy. So wait, I'll just check my notes so that I don't mess it up again and I don't make poor Hansa stand up again just like that. But yeah, I should have said this at the end. But anyway, we have Bob at the end already. So Hansa, now the stage is floor. So really, give it up to Hansa Valde.
Can you hear me without the
recording?
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I will be using my microphone. Welcome to my talk. Headset for me. That would be awesome.
My microphone.
I'm sorry. Do you want your microphone?
Yeah. Well, just take care of it. Or do you want to keep us entertained in the meanwhile?
Like that, and then we'll switch.
I'll start like this. Okay. Welcome to my talk. It's called Practical AI for Hot Dog Stand Personal. I think this talk is about what is happening to you. If you're a designer, if you're in UX, it's something that I feel is happening. The things are shifting, and I now watch it from a little bit different position of like a product, whatever lead. But I think it's very relevant for you, and it will give you some time to adjust. Jo. Super, teď to vypadá profesionálně. Sorry for the check. Those of you who know me, you know I worked for banks a lot, and then I worked for LiveSport, which is like a global company delivering sports data to shit ton of fans. And I quit. I quit in September of the last year. For like, I call it half sabbatical. I just needed a space to breathe, to explore things, to experiment with AI. That was the reason. I started building things, trying things, breaking things, shipping things, and this talk basically summarizes last 6 months what happened in my life. Reference to the hot dog stand, for those who don't know, my ultimate goal is to own a hot dog stand at the ski slope at the Austrian Alps, so that's where I'm heading, but not yet. In those, do you know how Figma stock chart looks like? Like it starts at 120 and then goes all the way down to 29, 22. So that's how my Figma usage looks like. I completely stopped using it. Yet I'm somehow still building. So how is it possible? And I will try to tell you. And this first chapter is 2 stories, what I built. But first, maybe it's important how I learn. I learn that I get signals of new things and stuff I want to try. Then I have to try it for myself to see what it really does, how it works. And I map its limits, whether it's technology or software or whatever, and then I keep it in my head for my use or somebody use, or trash it because it's stupid. I use Twitter a lot. I try to avoid everything else that's on Twitter today, but it's a great source for like daily information about the stuff you're interested in, and it tunes. If you're into Claude, very soon you have the whole Twitter about the Claude. First, every company does it. Menus sent to the Slack or displayed on the screen or something. Our friends where I work half-time, they have office in Holešovice, and every day they spend half an hour browsing the menus of the nearby restaurants, deciding and talking where they want to go for lunch. Not with me. I am very, I like processes and don't like wasting time. So I'm like, I'm going to vibe code it. It's going to be awesome. And I did. I scraped the restaurants, the selected restaurants. I scraped them. That was pretty easy, actually. It was surprisingly easy how I could, as a non-developer, I could handle like Slack integration, created a webhook, never heard about it before. And then I was like, when I'm going to host it, but then ChatGPT, I think, told me, why don't you just host it on a GitHub? You have GitHub Actions. It's going to cover all your needs. And there I had free hosting. And it was working. It pulled the menus. It did something to them, and it sent them to Slack. The problem was, what was the AI part? So I was like, I don't want to put smažený brambor s petrželkovými bramborami a domácí tatarskou omáčkou, because everybody knows what smažák is, right? And you save like a lot of words. So I wrote a prompt to reformat all the menus, and that was kind of hard part, the only hard part. And I spent maybe like 10 hours, maybe 16 hours on the first part, and then I spent maybe 40 hours on the part with the formatting. So those are, I swear to God, those are real examples of what very expensive ChatGPT AI can do while formatting just the casual menus from a restaurant. Lesson learned, for me, it was I have to get it out, I have to get it working, I have to learn the limits in the real like workflows, and because that's the only thing that matters, especially with the AI. Then the second thing, it was my I haven't worked for a startup for a very long time, and it surprised me how they do not respect meeting room bookings. It was just like I booked a meeting room for a specific time, 3 days in advance, and there was somebody in it, totally not caring about like me having booked the room. And I was like, I was missing the box, you know. Every corporate has it, a little like, it's called Evoco, maybe. It's a panel, you have it, and it's basically very expensive red and green light. It costs 40,000 each. Said, not on my watch. And I built this. So this is basically, it has same functionality even more because it displays the menus. It has a QR code, which you can book the meeting room. It has a motivational quote. So so today we are the Uber for e-health. And it displays weather, bookings, and everything. I am very stupid person. I'm not an engineer. I cannot 3D print. This took me hours to do. Okay, somebody 3D printed the case for me bartered it for creme, but that was the only part I couldn't manage. So you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Something like this. One thing I learned here, because the first thing, the Manichka, I did lots of like iterations. Here, I learned that if I spec it really well, then good model can program it with the APIs, with lots of stuff for the first time. And it was really, I was writing the prompt about hour and a half, and then it was done in 30 minutes. So the AI doesn't reduce the thinking, the things that happen in your brain that make you decide to say what to do, but it greatly reduces the execution cost. Agents. Has anybody heard about OpenClaw, CloudBot, or something like that? Everybody did, yes. So I have a video of me setting up the CloudBot, and it is basically a thing that you install on your computer, and then you connect it somehow to the Slack, and then you connect it to the WhatsApp, and it doesn't work, so you try it differently, then it starts throwing random errors. And I was working with very early versions, so it might be better now. But yeah, still me. But I set it up on my computer. You don't need a Mac M4 Max for that. You can do it on this stupid M1 Air. And I used it. Here's Adam. So that's conversation with Adam. My Claude bot was called Tarzan because I have a dog called Liana, so I thought it was like kind of funny. So it was Adam tried to argue with it unsuccessfully. So that's what it's good for. It booked a restaurant for me. I'm actually next Monday. I'm going to the restaurant that was booked by me telling my Claude bot from when I was walking my dog. It just booked it. So that was kind of impressive. And then it told my friends in the messenger conversation that we're going to the restaurant and they should send like a meeting and everything. And Dominic, who is a famous like hacker and CTO, he asked to send the online banking access. It was good. It didn't, which is great. By the way, what I learned, what I heard, and is kind of like really good if you want to experiment it. Create a separate email, create a like a burner Revolut card that you can give it, and then you're like safe. It creates different identity and you can play with it. It had some practical implication as well. I'm not sure if you know Sentry. It is a software that collects all the errors that happen in your application and sends them in the email. And it looks like this. And I had no clue what that means. But what CloudBot did, or Tarzan, he read it once a day, and if there was anything important, he told me, and if not, he just marked the emails as read. So it has practical implication. I tried it, was fun. I switched it off. I don't use it anymore. The reason probably being is that I tend to not do stuff that can be automated this easily. I tend to avoid, I'm a very lazy person, so I don't do things that are repeated or like weekly or something like that. But you're more than welcome to try it. And I'm very proud that I switched it off before Peter Ludwig switched it on, so that's a big achievement. Anyway, one thing important, it can generate a lot of stuff, a lot of like softwares and a lot of tasks and a lot of everything. Always remember that outputs are more important than outcomes. And yeah. Now the real test of me experimenting with AI. It's our little project or big project called Orbiso. It's a software. It's a scientific grant for Masaryk University in Brno and Masarykův Onkologický ústav. And it is software that is it's a platform that creates digital interventions. Those are little programs that are improving other people's lives, be it caregivers, teachers, parents, people sick with some disease. And it's app for the users that they have, and they can go through like quit smoking or have less stress or adapt to stress. And then a big like builder and editor for the authors of the interventions. Obviously enhanced. It is a lot of karma cleaning after me working in banking and basically betting business. This is very good. Anyway, from the beginning, I wanted AI to be present throughout the project. From the role as a product lead, I was like, I don't want to do things that are exactly repetitive. I don't want to think stupid. I don't want to copy paste, but that actually what happens, because I started in ChatGPT and then I was copying things somewhere, and then I had documents on SharePoint because obviously they're academics, so they have SharePoints, but we had Google Drive and everything was just a mess. And I hated it. Tried MCP. I never really got it. You're probably gonna talk about it, and he's gonna talk very nice things about MCP. I hate them. Anyway, where we ended up, and I think this is something that is really working well for us in our situation, is monorepo. Everybody knows what repository is. It is place where your code lives, or where the code lives, and it can be the whole software that the company is working on. And what we did is we added documents as the product knowledge, and we added agentic instructions to it in different folders for different agents doing on different things, and we added learnings, and it's one thing, wholly hosted on the GitHub, and we have it since 3 months, 4 months, and it seems that it's really good for us. For example, obviously I wrote the entire documentation, so I fed it just like when you have a grant, you have some papers, so I fed it the papers, it wrote the entire documentation, it stored it with the code base, and we now update it as we build. So for example, my colleague did something new, and he said like, please fix also the database with the commit, so it did it. These are just an examples. So I do projects, monthly projects, reports, sorry. And I just say, prepare a project report, and it sees all the GitHub commits, all the work that has been done, all the documentation that has changed, all the plans, MVP status, how we are progressing. I don't have to do anything. Developer tasks. So developers are maintaining parts of the documentation. If they prepared final database scheme, we just said update the documentation with the final DB scheme. The interventions, the programs are stored as JSONs, and we changed the format a lot. So we can just say update the JSONs with the latest schema for the interventions. And I think that full context for everybody is the killer. I use it, developer uses it. We are working on one thing. We have everything in there. Nothing is anywhere else. There was obviously a lot of pain because the documentation is stored as a markdown files, which is not very friendly for reading and for editing. I'm getting used to it, obviously, but yeah, no. So we haven't that resolved yet. We are trying some like plugins, some external sources. You probably solve it with the MCP and Notion, right? Yes. For us, we are trying different paths. We were very scared about vibe coding, so we create a scaffolding so that I can vibe code in a different place than where the actual code of the app lives, and it's stupid. And we spent like a month on it, and it's idiotic. And I should be able to vibe code with this actual software because it's safe. I do it in my branch, and we can then just close the branch and then never use it, and it doesn't mess with the rest of the software. We discussed security a lot. We don't want agents leaking informations from one project into different project. This is not exactly the case, but we have other cases where we have to think about it really deeply. And now the grand final. We moved everything to repo, and I like it. And I think the design is next thing to move into repo. And I've seen patterns. I'm old, so I remember Axure. Do you remember Axure? Yeah. It was amazing software. You could create amazing prototypes with it. Then we just dumped. Then we have the Figma. We did prototypes manually. Now we have Figma Make, but it's rectangles, and it's not the code. So let's just move directly to where the product is and do it there. I don't like rework. I don't like redoing things. Sorry. Sorry.
Not the same as
Uh,
the
it's not because of the AI. It's because we always done the thing twice and it doesn't make sense. We now start to have means not to do things twice, to do it once and properly. It obviously requires change of the workflow. What I think the future Figma will be is something like a storybook. So it's a design layer on top of the real code if you need it, if you do not work directly with the code. And this is something that for me is heading in the right direction. And also this will prevent throwing over the jobs over the wall. So for me, the natural workflow now is, and I didn't write the roles, like who's designer and who's engineer, because today it can be very fluid. But usually somebody like documents, ideates, vibe codes, tests with the users, fine tunes maybe. Then you usually need some like a final design. That's where we usually got back to Figma, and I refuse to go back to Figma. So my quest now is to try to find ways how to prepare the final design in the repository and not move back to Figma. And then obviously for the big projects you need real developer. You can't push vibe coded code into the production. You need a senior developer that will fix it, rework it, optimize it, check it, and then release it. I think it was today or yesterday. It's very situation is very fluid. Head of design at Claude. She wrote or she had a podcast that's called "Design Process is Dead." I refuse to accept this sentence because the design process is always the same. I really like the Stanford design process. I hate the double diamonds, by the way, because it's the most stupid display of our work, and it caused a lot of trouble. But Stanford is really easy: emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, test. Nothing's changing here. It's still gonna be the same. Only thing is that prototyping, where we tried Axure or where we tried Figma prototypes or Make, is now the vibe coding, and it's best done on the real data in the real database. There are some new phases, call them craft and ship. Will probably differ based on what the workflow is. I think there are new minimums for designers now. I think you should be very comfortable with working with either command line or development environment. You should orient in code. And I always thought you should orient in code, but now it's more important than ever. You should be comfortable working in the repository where the code lives, where the actual product is. You should be able to use Markdown because you're writing documentation for you and for the machines. And obviously Git is very important because then you can version everything and share it. And you used to have the T-shape, like with this, and then there was the design part or this or research part. So that's now a square. Sorry to inform you, and it has to be square. So you will be competitive on the market. So yeah, become squares. One note for siloed companies, I think they're in grave danger because the co-work ideally happens when you have, and I was on some engineering meetups and they're discussing it. They want to make teams smaller, basically like PM, UX, and engineer. And you can't do that when you have engineering department that is in different floor than the product department. So that was my hot dog stand lesson. But really, what you should do is not you don't need to go buy the M4, how do you call it, the M4 Studio. I think you can do it on MacBook Air. It's completely okay. Just get cooking, and you will own the kitchen. And oh, by the way, I'm looking for a full stack developer that is willing to join us. So if you know about one, let me know. I published this on my GitHub because this whole presentation was created in Cursor without any Figma or whatever. So that's it.
Before Shimon prepares, maybe we can do one question for Honza. Can we?
Yes.
If Figma, I'm reminding you about the Slido, reading it from there. If Figma is that, what about visual ideation before crafting? Because most AI work on design system base. What about the situation where the design system doesn't exist yet?
Paper, pen and paper. Who asked that? Can I? Oh, come on.
It was some Kate.
It was Kate. It was you. What's your situation? What's your process now, right now?
Right now, I'm working a lot with a vibe coding.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's based on SnapCN, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And if I need to start a new project, and I need to set visual direction for that new application, whatever.
Yes.
I want to start from Figma, for example, to start ideate on colors, something.
Yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
user. So
I care a lot about how applications look like. I don't anymore. I much rather prefer use like some very good component library that has been done and that is good, and then that has everything I have, and then just color it. We will be doing this process, but I don't believe you should first create like design and then the actual product. I think you should create product and then fine tune it design wise. That is something that we are now working like this March. Actually, we're trying to convert the default MUI components from in Flutter to something that is like pleasing and appealing and has some aesthetic value. And we want to use as little Figma as possible. So hopefully in like 3 months I will have talk on this.
I have just a feel that I have a feel right now that we as designers are lost in the process, and we are thinking that existing design systems and whatever vibe coding is okay for final users. And it's, as for me, it's an assuming.
It is very good to check if the idea is working. And then depending on how high profile product do you have, or how big company, or if it has its own brand, and then you invest into the visual design. But it's not the thing that you should do from the beginning.
Yeah.
You should do the product.
No worries. Thanks for the interesting debate. And yeah, we have Shimon next up on AI agents in startup. Shimon, the expert on workflows here. The floor is yours.
Okay, guys. So hello. I'm happy to basically be here on the other side. That usually we just only like tell the start of the event, but right now, because this is the last UX Monday that me and Michal are hosting, next one are on you. So I basically had the idea to have the talk. What we usually like to do is to have one more like theoretical talk. That was the Honza, and I will have more like a practical one that you can take things from and basically like try to implement them. So something about me, I was a designer. Right now I am a COO, so basically I went the way from design to operations. I wrote a book about Figma, which is pointless because Figma is dead, so there was like good investment of my time, but to be honest, I was paid upfront, so it was okay. Then I like to build plugins. I have the biggest online course for Figma in Czech, and of course, I'm organizing UX Mondays. So the promise of this talk, when I was like setting it up, I usually like to create like a promise. What is the goal of the talk? What I want to basically promise right now is that you will leave with the system that you can copy, right? So it will be practical, and two mindset shifts that basically make it stick. That I think that it is changing what we need to think about. So the first the first part of the presentation, I want to talk about the mindset shifts that I can see on myself and on my surroundings. So the first one is you will migrate and build for it. Evolutionally, we are not built to basically migrate. Like you are used to one phone operator for the whole life, one bank account for the whole life, because the change was danger for us in evolution. And we do this the same thing in software, right? So if you are using Gmail, for how many years you are using it? And then why do you want to switch to, like, nobody wants to switch to Outlook, but like maybe if you want to, right? If you are using Asana, you are Asana user. You are not migrating to Jira or to Notion, or if you migrate, it's like very painful. But right now, I think in the new world, you need to be ready to migrate, and you need to build the systems that are ready to migrate in seconds or minutes, because that will help you a lot. So you should build the context, which is very, very important. I will be talking about the context silos in a second. You should build it as a layer that you can move with you, as a baggage that you can move across companies, across tools, across everything. And you are still like taking the context with you, because this is how your brain works. You are taking your brain, the context, to a new job, to a new project, to a new role. And you are not just like leaving it behind. You are taking all of the experience, all of the things with you, and you need to build the systems around that in the same way. So this is like a real example from last week. So I was heavy Notion custom agent users. So basically, this is one case that I use it. We have, as I mentioned, I have online courses. Students write like responses, like a feedback form. Then the agents basically fire it up, reads it, do the triage if it's like okay, everything is okay, or if it's something that needs to be implemented, and then basically creates task or skip it, right? So very simple thing. But it is dozens or hundreds of these feedbacks every month, so it is very like useful to have something to do it like for you. I already set it up in Notion custom agents because I was invited into the alpha and it was free. It was amazing. And then basically last week I had a meeting with Notion and they told me, hey, each run will cost like 25 cents, which is like a lot. Like if you think that we run this agent hundreds of times, like it is a lot of money for basically a very simple triage bot that basically reads the message and like decide yes or no, right? So basically I migrated to Claude Cowork and the migration took like 30 seconds because I just took the prompt that was ready in Notion, put it in Claude Cowork, and it was done. Right? So you want to like build, this is one specific example, but you want to build the whole systems that you can migrate very easily. Because if you will be sticking with one tool, for example, Notion, I will need to pay this amount for like every time I run the agent, which is like pointless. So I was like the biggest fan of custom agents, and now I kill them all in like one afternoon. This is the second mind shift that I think you need to think about. Stop planning long term, because nobody knows what will be in the future, and in terms of tools, nobody knows what will be here in like 3 months or 6 months. So when I talk with some teams, it's usually, oh, we are waiting how this will look like, or we are waiting for the new pricing after 3 months. Don't like basically use it because it's free right now. You will use it for 2-3 months. You will gain the benefit and then you will migrate. If you have the system is ready for migration, it won't be a problem for you. So just use what's best right now for your case. And best doesn't mean that it is the fastest. Best can be that it is free, or it is the smartest, or it is the fastest. It's up to you, up the situation. But basically, you don't like stop planning for long term in this, because you need to swap the tools, the brains very easily and very quickly, right? So I'm a heavy Claude user right now, but maybe like tomorrow, maybe it will be Gemini, right? But and if you have everything in Claude, and I will be talking about the silos in a second, you will be fucked because it will be very hard to migrate. That's one of the things that Honza mentioned, that it is very hard to migrate, and I can see it on many teams. Why using ChatGPT? Because we have everything there. But that's not the reason. You should use it because it's the best for your use case, not because it's everything there. You shouldn't have everything there. You should be ready to basically use every other tool. So basically, I built my context layer in Notion. I will show you like very step by step how I did it. So right now I can switch the brain. The brain is the LLM. I can very easily switch it in a couple of minutes. So context inside the LLM, you are basically locked in, right? So if you have like ChatGPT projects and all of the PDFs and all of the everything lives in the memory of ChatGPT, you are basically locked in, and it will be a problem. It is a problem, or it will be a problem inside, like in the future. So basically, you should build the context next to it, not inside it. So you are able to switch the models as they come, as something better will come, something cheaper, something faster. You can quickly just like basically switch it if the context layer living outside of the LM models. So what I actually use right now on a daily basis is these 5 tools. So I use Claude Max. So that's basically the brain right now. I do a lot of deep research. I use Claude Code to code everything. Even this presentation is HTML as well. It's not slides. It is a website that is like behaving like a slides. I use the Cowork to schedule tasks on some like daily or weekly periods to do some things. I will show you more like real world examples soon, but one example was with the course feedback. Then I use Notion as a knowledge hub, as I use the databases to store all of the data. I use the wikis, and I use it as basically the context layer. Everything is connected via MCP to Claude right now. I use Slack connector because, of course, we're using Slack, so a lot of communication is in Slack as well. So, for example, when I have a PRD in Notion and somebody is like writing notes in Slack, I can easily one-click update the whole PRD with the feedback. So I'm using the Slack connector to basically dig all of the context from Slack as well. I use Notion Mail, so Notion AI has access to all of my work emails. I will be talking about privacy on the end of the call. Work emails. So again, when some like work-related feedback comes into the mail, similar to Slack, it is implemented in seconds, and I don't need to like work with it. And then I use Loom to record every meeting, take the transcript, and feed it back to Notion. So every meeting lives in Notion. So again, the AI can go to these meetings. So if some decision is made by Slack or email or in meeting, everything is implemented very easily, very quickly. So the Claude. I use it for 3 parts, as I mentioned. Research is basically like a deep dives, competitive analysis, market research. All of the outputs go back to Notion to research folders. So when I do a research, it goes back. It is never like lives in Claude. It always go back to the Notion. So I have all of the researches set up in the way that the AI can basically access them even into the future. So to have a context. So I'm building like a big context like library. Cloud Code, of course, with Figma MCP. So sometimes again you need to use Figma. I know. But if you need to use a Figma, of course, use Figma MCP to basically transfer all of the designs to Claude for Claude to understand it, and then all of the PRDs, the project docs, are living in Notion. So with Notion MCP, again, all of the documentation that is needed. And Cowork to schedule tasks. I think this is quite a new thing. I didn't spend a lot of time with it, but the scheduling task is like quite simple, very easy to do, and it's free based on your subscription. So this is like a setup that I use for Claude Chat. So I have multiple projects, and this is basically like an onboarding doc for them. So basically each project has list of MCPs. So for example, HubSpot, which is a CRM well in .dot, all of the data of our customer lives, all of the emails, all of the deals, all of the features that are using lives there. So the Claude can connect to this and get all of the info about the customers. I use Jira and Confluence to basically download all of the tickets that are connected to these users, all of the product PRDs information, stuff like. I use Notion, which is like my own, Slack and Figma. Then I will basically like create the prompts or like the instructions into the projects and telling Claude where it can find what, right? So I'm telling, hey, if you need like the CRM data, if you need like what customers are paying, how much, it will be here. If you need to find who is the customer success manager of this client, it will be here. And basically like prepare like a little guide for it to know where to find the data. And then it can connect to these like data silos and basically learn from them and build like final things from it. Then of course in Notion I have like projects and names and basically same with Figma. So basically you write it how it should use the connections for so the LLM will know where it can expect what. And of course expect output, you write there what is like the output of the like this project, what do you want the format to look like. Cowork schedule task. So this is basically the feedback one that I already spoke about. Then this is, for example, another one that I use. It's like a client logo tracker. So basically when somebody buy the course, it goes to the CRM, right? So we see that, hey, there's a new customer. Then the Claude automatically looks for the company and based on the company field or email field, so it can extract the values and then basically goes to the website and then decide if this company is interesting one to basically use in like a reference or in logos on the website. Very simple thing, but it usually takes me like half a day or once a month to basically with the coffee to go through all of the CRMs and track the website. Is this interesting company or not? I didn't know all of the logos, so sometimes it was like large company, but I didn't hear about them because they were in, I don't know, like engineering or like automotive or something like that, so I didn't hear about them. So this is everything is done by you. This is another case that I use every day. Then this is a prospecting one. This we use in Dotty. So basically I scrape all of the companies, for example, from Trustpilot that are relevant to us. So it's tens of thousands of companies. I scrape them with URLs and names, and then I put them inside the Notion. And then the Claude Cowork visit each individual URL. So it goes to the website and it evaluates against our ICP criteria. So basically I build a whole database of the potential users of Dotty with like in minutes of work, because then it goes to the website, check it, hey, this is valid for you or not based on the criteria, and then it basically create the tiers for our sales team to take them and use it, right? Like year ago, 2 years ago, you would pay a lot of money for these databases. They were like so expensive because somebody needs to go by hand and check tens of thousands of companies. This is done automatically. The Epify scrape costs like, I don't know, 12 crowns or something like that. So it's nothing. And then the Claude Cowork is in your like pricing. Reddit topic evaluation. This is what I like to use. I don't use it like heavily, but usually I scrape Reddit or subreddits for like certain communities, and then basically build like a very big Notion database, and then Cloud Cowork reads every topic and evaluate it. So it basically creates me like a little report. What are people talking about in these like subreddits? So what are the topic of UX designers? What are the topic of engineers? What are the topic of like product managers? What are the topic on Figma subreddits? It's that. So it's usually very fast there, but so basically it creates me like a point of view. I don't use this to do something with that. I just use it to basically see what are the topics in the community that people around the world are talking about. Cloud Code, so basically design to code. Again, as I mentioned, Figma MCP plus Notion. So you will bring the design from Figma if you use it, and you will bring all of the docs from Notion to basically have it the whole context that it needs, and then it basically run. I'm not an engineer, so I don't care about what technologies it use. I don't care how it goes through basically the final point that I need. I just basically let it run. Implement a lot of tests. So like tell him to implement a lot of tests because I don't know how to implement tests. So basically I tell him to put a lot of tests, and usually then the results is basically like usable, like this presentation. So right now I want to talk quickly about the Notion, how basically set up the knowledge hub. You don't need to use Notion, you can use anything else that has MCP. I like to use Notion because I like it. So this is like very important thing to think about, that like a scattered context is like 10% useful AI. This is one of the things that Honda mentioned, and I like hit it every single day, that you have like scattered context across everything, and then people say, hey, the AI isn't working, right? Because like if it doesn't have any context, it can't work. So you need to have ideally one place that has the main context, and then the silos as for example, HubSpot is your CRM or Figma and others connected to it. And then you will have like 10x the effect. Not like it won't be like twice as good. No, it will be like 10x, because then it will understand you. So how I structure my Notion, usually I have like 3 type of folders. Is a research folders. I put all of the research inside of it. So basically it is like AI reference library in the future. I have templates folder. So I have templates for PRDs, proposal, emails, case studies, presentation, etc., etc., etc. So all of the templates, how the output should look like. And then the project folders that are like tied to certain projects, like roadmaps, specs, deliveries, etc., etc. So the research folders, I set it up like that. So I have like a company research, then I have like competitors, market, pricing deep dives for Dotty. So all of it that is like connected to Dotty. I have it there. Then I have like another folder where it's like things to connect it to courses, to marketing websites, other things, personal things like career industry trends and stuff like that, consultancy researches. And basically you build like these large boxes of a lot of deep researches, a lot of content for the AI to use it right now, but it can use it even in the future when it will be like, it will reference it in the future. So don't delete it, don't leave it somewhere in Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT, build it in the context layer because you will use it in the future. The template folders, very simple. Again, this will be based on your use case, but just like an example, it's like a proposal template, case study templates, competitive analysis template, PRD templates, presentation templates, and Claude ND templates, and many others. You basically build like the templates that you want to have, and then you will have the same outcome all the time. So for me, I have the same outcome of the presentation, then with one click with Cloud Code, it creates me this, and the template is still the same. The Cloud MD file as well, case studies as well, everything. You'll basically build the template library that the output will basically follows. Then the project folders, of course, I have like Dotty.hub, where it's all connected to Dotty, like CO ops, sales, product, leadership, partnership, etc. Design Beyond Limits, which is the thing about the book. That's only there like because it's there. Back office things, so contracts, invoices, legal, right? So basically, I let it to check all of the, for example, bank statements connected to business, what I will be paying for tools and when. You can save a lot of money by that you do like evaluation of your subscriptions. The Figma course website and other projects. This is just like example how I use it. You need to like structure it as much as possible to basically have the context lives inside these folders. Loom, this is like very simple. So basically set it and forget it. You can set the Loom that it's basically automatically connect to every meeting as like attendees. So basically it will join, it will do recording, it will do the transcript, then you can save into the Notion and feed it to AI. So the AI can access all of the meetings, past meetings, and this is very helpful even when you are, for example, on day-to-day, so you are on vacation, right? So you are on week vacation, then you come back. And if everything lives inside like Confluence or Notion, you'll just ask what was the like decisions that was made last week, and you have everything there with one simple prompt, very easy. You don't need to like dig inside the Slack, but if you have the Slack connector as well, as I mentioned, it will dig inside the Slack and take the basic decisions from it. If you're part of some emails threads, it will take the email threads and basically take the decisions from it. So it's very easy for you to get back on speed because it will check all of the places where some decisions could be made. And this is like last part of my talk. What about privacy, right? Because this is thing that I was like fighting for a long time with. How to set it up so it will respect your privacy, because somebody who knows me, I like to talk or think about privacy. So this is what I like came up with. So basically like don't avoid it, but you need to split work and personal things. Like before that, I have everything in like one email, one calendar, one drive. Not right now. I basically split these two things separately. I have two profiles on my phone that aren't connected to each other. I have things on like two different servers that are connected to each other, because if you will like move everything to be super privacy focused, it will be, but it won't be so awesome, because the new technologies, they aren't privacy focused. They aren't, and they won't be. That's the reality. So you can decide, okay, so I will stop using these like cloud LLM models. I will use on like the open source on my like Mac 4M Max, something like that. But like it won't be so great. So like just like basically split it. So how it basically looks. So I have like my work email in Notion Mail, work chat in Slack, and basically project documentation in Notion. That's one thing. And then for example, for personal chats, I use Luma, which is LLM from Proton. That's like if I talk something, if I ask it something about my family, my kids, or basically health thing, never Claude or any AI tool. All of my personal finance things are of Google, so no Google Sheets, no Google Drive with like transaction from, I don't know, what do you use, Coinbase or something like that. No, just take it out. I have everything off on my like on my own NAS, self-hosted cloud, that I have everything at home. And yeah, and personal files like photos lives there. So no Google Photos, no iCloud photos from my wife if she's using iPhone. No, everything lives there. And basically it automatically deletes the photos from the devices when they are basically automatically upload there. So not training of models on like faces of my kids. So yeah, and that's basically how you can like split it up. Maybe there are like better solution, but I like didn't find it. So basically I just split it up to use all of the awesome and cool things at work and then have some privacy at home. So I think that is basically context engineering is more important than vibe coding, because when you will be thinking about it, that you are creating the context, you will win. So be ready to migrate, build portable systems, not tools like workflows. This is very important. Stop planning long term. Notion is your context engine. Claude is your coworker, and privacy is a choice. Thank you.
Yeah, we're working. Thank you so much, Simone. I think that we should, well, yes, we do have a question for you. What can you scrape from the internet, and what do you wish you could scrape but cannot? Which scraping tool to use? Thanks for your inspiration.
Okay, so I use Epify because it's like very easy, and you have all of the scrapers already there. Again, I'm not an engineer, so I just go there, use some tool, and it will do the scraping for you, and basically creates a CSV that you can import to Notion or any other tool to use it. What I know is like quite problematic is LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't like to be scraped, but I would love to basically scrape LinkedIn to like build a database of how the algorithm is working, to basically trying to understand it a little bit better, because it's quite a mystery. So yeah, but LinkedIn will basically ban you if you try to scrape it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, well, I've seen people hope that LinkedIn won't think I'm a bot. But anyway, Hanzo, can you maybe join the floor, because we got some questions for you both. I'll stand by your side, guys.
He has a good mic somewhere.
Vincent?
Oh, Vincent has it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work?
It works.
Yeah, good.
It works now. Okay. I have a question for both of you, and I think that Hanzo already touched upon this in his talk, but what are the designer strengths from now on, in your guys' opinions?
Designer strengths.
Mm.
What did you mean by designer strengths? Who was it? It's blue color, definitely. No, I think design is not changing, just the tools are changing. You should adapt, and that's the trend. Is that what you mean?
Question is, if you are a designer nowadays, if you are a designer from nowadays, what's requirements? Because back in the days, it used to be some aesthetics values. Then with Figma, it was more like effectivity and systematic thinking and so on and so on. And now it's switching to, like, let's say, builders and product management ish. So what should be profile of designer from now on?
I think it's the square. I think the more you know, the better designer you are. Like, if you know math, you should watch Veritasium videos on YouTube because they're great, and they probably won't help you 99% of time, but then there will be 1% of time when you will, oh, the infinite hotel. That's interesting. It will help you with design decision or idea.
Yeah, I think that in the past it was normal that you were doing like a lot of things, and then we started to specialize, right? Not even in design, in every discipline. And then it was like a UX designer, UI designer, motion design, design system designer, context designer, content designer. It was like a lot, right? But in the past, it was just like it was a designer. And I think it is going back to it. And it is same with engineering. Like there was like a backend, front end, QA, and right now is like a full stack or like again engineer, right? So I think that because we have the tools, for example, in design that can do not the same level of work as the specific person. So for example, research, the tools right now won't do 100% work as a researcher. It won't, but it will be 80%, for example, or 50, or we can discuss that. We can argue about that. But in a lot of cases, it is okay for you, right? So I think, as Hansa mentioned, basically you should think about yourself as a designer and what I as a designer need. That's one thing. And second thing, it really depends where you work. If you were working on like finance ministry, you are fine with just like UX, I think, for like future 20 years. But if you want to work in something like that, yeah, or Java, like, right? But if you want to think about something that is moving fast, it really depends when you work, because that will like basically put some requirements on you. So you shouldn't think what are requirements of a designer, because there's like very broad questions. What are requirements of a designer who wants to work for a banking, or who wants to work for e-commerce, wants to work for like SaaS business? And then you will find out the requirements that are there.
When I was building teams lately in last few years, I usually had specialized roles for design systems, design ops, research ops. Obviously, researchers, a different crowd. But then I tend to I was more and more selecting like universally smart people that have many different skills that can do 3D or can do vibe code like year ago. That was very interesting, and they have very like broad set of capabilities as a universal designers that I can throw to at any problem, because I can help him visually with the design system, or with somebody that's going to polish their work, with engineers that's going to help them with something.
Okay, I will kind of add up on that question. No surprise, it comes from Siggy as well. But if you could like answer quickly, like, so what will be the unique selling proposition of a designer then, if you know a lot of what we've been doing so far can be replicated now, or we actually skip some parts because we don't need the bespoke stuff that much?
Yeah, I think that designers who will understand business will be the most valuable, and they are most valuable right now, and it will be more valuable. So design isn't living in the silo. A lot of designers think that like we will just create a nice thing, or just create like a structure of Figma file or this. No, if you will understand the business and how you can make money for the business as a designer, then you will be valuable, because on the end somebody needs to pay your invoices, somebody needs to pay you if you are not working like non-profit or something like that. So how in design you can earn more money to the business, you will be the most valuable to the company.
Mm-hmm. Hansa, opinion?
I have I remember I was kind of pissed like 5 or 10 years ago, because I felt that like product owners and product managers were taking a huge bite of our cake, like UX cake, that they learned how to do like UX research and synthesis or market research, and they now can do vibe coding. So I would be kind of careful not to be replaced by somebody who has the business mindset and can vibe code on the same level as you.
Okay, thank
has
you.
better ideas.
Yeah, in a way there's the creatives hopefully that stays with us, although PM
that.
starts doing that a lot as well, as I can kind of witness as well. I think that I have a special question for Shimon. So you don't use AI for medical advice. It's apparently a big thing now to upload all of the medical info of your MLA and ask for advice. By the way, whenever I feel something, I also ask ChatGPT and I just live with that. But Shimon, what is your opinion?
Like I use it, but I use the Luma from Proton that doesn't store any logs. I use it in like a private mode that doesn't store any conversation. It doesn't train on the conversation. So you can still use the AI. And to be honest, the Luma is like much worse than Claude. Like it is like in general. So that's the reason why I'm using Claude in like the work connected things, right? So it is like you need to decide what is more important for you, to have a little bit better basically results, but you will tell it everything or not. If I'm like telling it to prepare me presentation, I don't give a shit that it has access to it, so I will put it into the cloud, so it will have the best answer, the best outcome. But if it's I'm like discussing some things connected to, I don't know, health of me, of my family, I won't do this trade-off, right? So I want to have like 10% maybe worst like outcome that I will need to ask it more or like think about the answer a little bit, but be sure that it is safe. Or I think it's much safer than Claude. We'll see.
Maybe if you maybe should get a better doctor that will explain the results to you. Just an idea.
I can tell you, Hanzo, that I actually asked ChatGPT when I, for quick advice when I don't want to bother my doctor at all. I have very nice doctors who explain very nicely. So, thanks for the advice. But sometimes it's nice, but yeah, do check that you're in the private mode. I usually use temporary chat in ChatGPT, and I just have it turned off in settings to, teach the models. But good luck with
Do you believe it?
the administration and everything, and only Anthropic taking an ethical stance on cooperating with not the DOD anymore, but the EO whatever.
Minister of War.
I know. I didn't want to say that ugly word out loud. Anyway, Hanzo, nicer question for you. Technical. When you use Monorepo, how did you teach your non-developer colleagues to use GitHub or, I guess, Git in general? And what applications are you using for writing the Markdown files?
I don't know how to use GitHub.
He's having lesson tomorrow. What I did is I prepared a file in the repo that explains the whole process of editing and adding documentation and even like syncing, because we still have the remote documentation, the outline, which is something like Notion. So basically, Adam is working now on something different. He has his own pet reg database. But when he's done and he will join me, and we work from Cruiser. We don't work from other environments. So we work in the IDE directly, and then it's just basically the agent will know.
Okay, thank you a lot. But I can also.
Sorry to jump in, but this is, I think, a very good point. Like I think that you need to be okay with that you won't understand 100% of it, because this was a normal even back then. So back then, when you have DaVinci Resolve that is doing the video. I cut the video, I hit export. I don't have a clue what it does, but it will export the video. That's it. I don't need to understand what it does. I don't need to understand how it will basically change the colors and stuff like that. This was normal even back then. In even some functions in Photoshop, you don't need to understand how it works. But right now, I think everybody is like afraid that you need to understand the 100% of the whole process, how it works in every single detail. You can if you have the time and the passion, but in a lot of cases you don't need to. You
break
basically
it. And with the Git, which is the like concurrent version system, you have the added luxury of grown adult actually checking your work before it's merged into the main project. So you can do whatever, you can break it, you can completely delete it, and it doesn't matter because there should be somebody who will notice and then
Let's
stop you.
discuss that in a pub. I can say that, you know, if the pull requests are too large, then good luck to the human to review all of your changes. But yeah, in principle, you're right, and I think that it's helpful to kind of know what the code does at very high level if you're touching something important. But for most of our work, I think that the principle, Shimon, is correct. We also don't understand the machine code at the lowest level. Do we have any running questions in the room? Okay.
So maybe I can quick add to it. You have your processes, the designers. They are the same processes for the how to code. So I think everybody who use it needs to understand to how it looks when it's not working, because you can then time set to agent, you make small steps, you commit all steps, you comment commits this way, whatever, so you can found it. In the middle, it stop doing it after it makes 25 changes in one commit, and even the AI after can find anything, because we need to understand that this Git is also for agent to collaborate with the repository. So this is how it making it more prone. So I think understand it on the level that is working and be able to double check that it's basically functional, be able to stop it and ask somebody who understands it more when it's not working. This is basically a level I think everybody in team needs to.
Sure, there's like one point of view, but then I will go back 1 month and we had the panel discussion, and there was like very good point from Amplify that basically they invest a lot of time to do the tests. So basically when designers do some changes, it will run through a lot of tests to make sure that that is correct. And that's the reason why you have the test in there, right? So you can, of course, when you will have like a robust testing layer, it won't be 100%, of course, but it can help a lot. So like invest time to, again, create environment when you can work and it will be like safe as possible to do some changes, because I honestly I don't believe that in the future it will be like that there will be a senior who will be checking every line of code. I don't think that basically they will be like that. I don't think even that from the talk a month ago on the panel discussion that was like, for example, with the guys from Duvo, it was there, like they are like going very fast, investing in this and in like the testing environment to be fast. I don't think it will work that you will basically hire a bunch of people to just like read Git and make sure that it is fine. That's like, I don't think so.
They just scan it. They basically vibe engineer it and then just do code review, but very quick one. And
Yeah.
we had today we had discussion how the ratios change, because it used to be, and the corporate guys would know that you had one designer for maybe like 6 developers and 2 testers and 1 PM. And today we had discussion that we need to cut this 1-to-1. So basically one person who's creating the one product person and one engineering person, and with today's capabilities, the workload is about equal.
That's cool.
Nice. I have one question for both of you. And I would probably extend it on the original. But the original is, what do you think about the future of the pencil app? And I would perhaps even extend it to, what do you think about software that generally generates screens and you do something else with it after? I, for example, played with the Google Stitch today, which I think is kind of similar to Pencil. But yeah, what do you think of this kind of software?
So I think the problem in general of all of the apps that aren't the LLM models, so that aren't ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, will be that it will be so much expensive for them to exist. and that's the connected to the Notion custom agents. They have this pricing because Claude is basically giving them this pricing to use it, and Claude and ChatGPT Gemini will basically want from you to live in their ecosystem. So Pencil, it's amazing idea. I think it's working great, and I think, and this will be like interesting, maybe talk, but I think it will be that when it will be like start charging you, because Claude will basically charge them so much for the API that basically it will kill them, right? Because imagine that for every move in Figma, you will need to pay a cent. Like you won't use it, right? So, but again, connected to my talk, I think it's completely okay. Use it right now because it's free. It's basically funded by A16Z, so they have a lot of money. So basically use it when you can, and then like you will see.
Do you use Pencil? Does anybody use Pencil? In IDE? What's the edit? What's the edit value to Pencil?
Clara is running.
For me, it is that I don't need visual designer at all. I can do like acceptable visual designs, which I have under my control, without something in between computer and me.
Okay, cool.
Maybe better.
Shimon is thinking. Petre?
For me, one of the benefits was I'm building an app for half a year. I just didn't care about the design, as you said. It was like I care about the functionality, I care about the value it brings. I could care less about if it's black or blue or whatnot. I tweaked it up, and then I came up until the point where I'm like, and now I would need to shape the ideas more than just with prompts. So I used Pencil to like, hey, reconstruct from this React app, reconstruct the components on the canvas, and I'll be playing with them. So for me, that was a killer feature. Figma can't do that. And I'm 100% not recreating it from the screenshots. So
I have the major issue with not working like functionally in the component mindset, which I seem they don't even like the latest like the Claude Figma integration. It doesn't work with components, so that's for me a deal breaker. And again, you see in the slide, Figma is dead. It will stay with us for many years, I believe, but it will not be any bigger if they don't change the mindset radically, and that's not like duplicating the stuff on two sides. It should be one resource, one source.
This is one point of view, but the other, which I think is important, is that some changes are much easier to do it in tools like Figma than to text it. Like I understand that we are like, oh, everything is live coded. I will text or I will record my voice to do. Like if you want to change something simple, like it will be like this line of text to basically change a little thing, right? And I play with it a lot. Like when the first Figma AI like alpha was out, we have like access to like half a year before it go out. So I play with it so much long. And for example, in auto layout, to switch two items like this, it took me 15 minutes to basically force the AI to switch it, right? So some things will be still much easier in it. So I think, again, you will use the best tools. And when the world will be connected, very connected, so it won't make, it doesn't matter if you do the changes in the code or in the design tool, whatever the name of design tool will be, that will be the amazing state to be in. But some things will be much easier to do with design, like UI environment. Everything won't be fixed to text.
Maybe some of you remember we used to have Civic editors. It's a very long time ago, but that was actually like design layer built on top of code. It was called like front page, I think. There was
front
one
page.
example.
It was like that was the OG player.
And yeah, so I think we used to do that actually. It was fun.
Oh well, I would leave this on this good note that I can agree with Shimon that I think that we'll use the right tools for the right thing, and I also think that sometimes some things are just simpler to do directly than trying to force AI to do them, because sometimes they struggle with the simplest thing. I, for example, built a Chrome plugin just for me to be able to really experiment with CSS because yeah, I could have the whole setup in IDE and I could be prompting it, but I can also just make the CSS right away if I know how to do it and then try different things. And that, I think that our manual work isn't going that much away, and it might be a strength. Thank you so much, Shimona and Honzo, for your inspirative talks. I took a lot of took a lot of photos, and I hope that and believe it was very beneficial for everyone else as well. Before we go to pop, we have the promised Bob's input. Bobbe.
Good evening. Maybe some of you don't know me. I'm Bob Marwan. So far, still part of the board of Association with UX. However, today is something like my farewell party. Unfortunately, I can't join you in a pub, and I'm sorry for that. However, I like to tell you a couple of words and then a couple of important announcements. So first, those couple of words. I stay with Association of UX for like 8 years, 5 years as a chairman and other years as a board member, sorry. And through that time, I experienced a couple of things which I like to mention to you to remind you like where we were and where we are heading. The first point is that thanks to Sigi over there and Martin sitting over there, we basically saved Association of UX back then before closing. Yeah, that's really a long time ago, but yeah, it was as it was, and like I'm pretty glad to not only those two guys, but a lot of other people who support us and move it on. Yeah. Since then, I experienced a really great journey with Zapixely. Maybe some of you know the exhibition which we produced many years ago, which was basically promoting the digital design around the Republic, not only in Prague, but as well in regions. Then we together somehow survived COVID, and I really remember well how great was the first online sessions about for example, remote research and remote facilitation of workshops back when we need it, and it was heavily visited and many people joining. And I'm really glad that we are out of this era and can meet each other in person again. And then last thing which I'd like to mention and as well a little bit apologize is the Humans of UX. We already ran it twice and somehow getting ready for the third run. We always approach it from the perspective that we like to do it well, not fast, and that's our current trap for now. But like we are moving forward, always a little bit slower than I was expecting. But anyway, it's getting ready. It will happen one day, and yeah, that's basically my promise. So this was some kind of my summary because my time is over now. Yeah, like the 3 years period which I was elected for is getting to the end. That's the maybe bad news that for someone, maybe not, doesn't matter. But now switch to the good news. Yeah. The good news is that elections are ahead of all of us. However, to make it happen, there are like at least 3 important things which you need to accomplish, at least some of you. First one is become a member of Association of UX, and I not mean like visitor, but really a member. Yeah, join associationux.cz, join us, pay small fee per year, and that allows you to be a part of the election. Second is please wait for the announcement of the elections, which should happen like approximately in 1 month or less. We need to set it up, but it's no big deal as we are now doing this every year because we switch from those long terms to like really this continuity that each person is elected for 3 years and every year one is out and there are new elections. which is important for continuity. This is the important point. And the last, the most important point is that my seat is ready for some of you, waiting for your chance to shape the direction which Association of UX will be heading in upcoming years. Yeah? So that's the most important part of my message today. So really, if you are interested to be active member of the community, please reach to me or Michal Stonader or Clara. Reach us, let us know that you are interested. We can talk to you, set up whatever meeting call, anything. Apply to elections and be in. Use your chance. Most important announcement is that now you can go to pub. Thank you very much.